Well, something just shifted. Hey, hope you didn't notice.
What is the best car in the world?
Maserati.
A Bugatti?
Corvette.
Okay, Joe Biden.
No, I ain't no Joe Biden.
Trump all day.
And I love black men. I love them. I love them.
Which country makes the best cars?
Here in the U.S.
America.
German engineering.
Oh!
I hate to say it, but
Made in the USA. What happened to that?
I have some German blood in me. And my grandfather, Irish.
I bet you're a little Japanese too.
No. I love sushi, though.
Anybody want anything? You want a little bit? Sushi.
Are you a speed demon or a nervous Nancy?
Speed demons. I'm from Staten Island, and they drive crazy there.
Don't play with me on the road, because I'm going to be vroom.
If you ask NYPD, I like to go slow.
Speed all day, this guy right here.
I speed.
Fast and furious.
And look at this car. This is, oh! You did that?
Yeah.
If I wanted to buy this car,
Yeah.
because, I could totally afford it, how much money would it be?
$3.3 million.
$1 million.
Who's a better driver, men or women?
Men all day.
All day. Is that a question?
I mean, women, right?
We just think more clearly about things.
The insurance company likes to say that women drive better, but we drive way better.
You're going to get me killed, man.
How does your wife drive?
She's right there. I'm not going to... Terrible. She's great.
Cut it out.
Self-driving cars, they're coming onto the scene. Is that a good thing?
Sometimes they do drive better than humans.
I'm scared. Would you drive a self-driving car?
Would I drive a self-driving car?
If you're drunk,
I mean, Tiger Woods could use it.
definitely.
Too many drunk drivers on the road, especially Staten Island drivers. They're driving drunk all the time, even during the day.
Oh, I love Staten Island.
Oh! Oh, I think I'm falling out of the car. I feel like I'm going right up to heaven. Oh! We did it! Do you think the country needs to steer more to the left or to the right?
Right.
When you're in the right lane, you could go around the people on the left lane because they're nice and slow.
The left is pretty slow.
The left has gone way too far. You get afraid to say things because you don't want people antagonizing you.
What are you afraid to say?
I don't want men and women's bathrooms.
You can't go too left, you can't go too right because you'll wipe out.
Democrats, they hate cars. They want to charge you more to drive. They want you on the buses and the trains. What's up with that?
The Democrats are snot.
It's a way to express yourself that they don't like, but it's okay for them to go express themselves in every type of way, form, shape of parade possible.
They Democrats. They greedy. They just want money.
Do you know what just $10 can do for Team Biden-Harris?
President Trump says he knows gas prices are pretty high right now because of the war, but he says trust them, they're going to drop like a rock soon. Do you trust him?
Trust him. I'll trust him.
Trust them.
He gonna do something. Yeah. He always do something.
Yeah. The shortness of words, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I do actually. Because the same thing happened during COVID.
You were saying it was going to disappear. It is going to disappear.
Missed a spot? We're over here? All right, you missed a spot. You missed a spot right there. What do you want to tell Jesse Waters?
What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the New York Auto Show. Hope you're having a great time.
You know who I am?
You look familiar, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Here's
Johnny.
There you go.
Notice the energy here, though. This isn't pundits talking. This isn't, politicians debating right here. These are regular people, and they're not even hesitating in the beginning. You heard them say they trust him. They just don't trust the Democrats. They're tired. And by him, of course, we're talking about Trump. And whether you agree or not, that kind of confidence gap doesn't just, appear out of nowhere, right? It builds over time, decision after decision, moment after moment. Now, keep that same energy in mind, because what happens next takes it deeper, right? Because it's one thing to hear people at a car show saying it, right? It's another thing when voices inside the culture start saying it out loud.
You've been in corporate, you've been in independent media for 35 years. How many times during that 35-year stretch have you told the black community not to vote for a Democrat? Ever? I don't think I recall ever hearing about you telling black America, don't vote Democrat. This particular Democrat, does that have your best interest? This particular Democrat is unworthy of your support, they haven't earned your support, they don't deserve it, don't give it to them. Have you ever had an instance in 35 years where you've looked into the camera and said that, Roland? Let me put this in perspective for you, Roland. We live in a world where impossible things happen every day. We live in a world where a man survived being struck by lightning 7 times. A woman hit the lottery twice in the same day. A baby fell from a building 2 separate years and was caught by 2 separate people. That's right. Impossible things happen in this world, Roland. All those impossible things have happened, but you know what has never happened, Roland? You've never, not one time, told the black community, don't vote Democrat. Yeah, you never ever been in a situation in 35 years where you looked over at the Democrat that was running and said to the people, black community, they're not worth our vote. They haven't earned our vote. They haven't delivered for us. They don't have our best interest. In 35 years, you have not said, hey, let's go independent. Let's go with the Working Families Party candidate over the Democrat, or let's go with the Green Party candidate over the Democrat, or let's go with the Republican over the Democrat. I mean, you are an independent, Roland. A lot of impossible things have happened in this world, but never once have you decided to color outside the lines of the Democratic Party. How could that be, Roland? Unless you're being paid not to color outside the lines. No, Roland, if somebody's anti-black, that person is you. You are pro-Democrat and anti-black.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times.
Boom. Now right there, that's not a small collapse. That's a pattern being called out. 35 years, my guy, Roland Martin. And not once. See, this is where it all gets pretty interesting, because it's not even about telling people, you know, what to vote for. It's about whether people are being told that they even have a choice. And when that question starts popping up more and more, it changes the entire conversation, because now it's not about loyalty anymore. Now it's about independence. And once that idea gets planted, it doesn't just stay in politics. No, it starts showing up in culture, media, messaging, everything.
I understand why you are angry at me for voting for Trump. I didn't grow up in the black culture. Like, I didn't grow up with the black identity. So when I graduated from undergrad and I moved here at 22 years old, my eyes were actually opened up to all of these race issues and the black cultural issues and things that I had never felt and experienced in my 22 years in Canada. All of a sudden I felt here, and it was very disturbing. So when I'm getting all of this hate from the black community, specifically from black women, as a black woman, and I can have empathy for them. And so I almost feel like it's a duty of mine to kind of help people open their eyes.
The worst is the Obamas. Michelle Obama, every interview is about racism now. Yes. Please.
It is very intentional.
Yes.
It's very intentional, the reason they do this. They want to keep black people dependent. Look at all the slave movies that are constantly coming out. Why are we still talking about that? Look at our music. Look at hip hop and rap. It talks about drugs. It talks about murdering each other. It talks about all this terrible misogynistic language towards women.
Yes.
They want us to hate each other. They're like, you know what? They're going to destroy themselves. And we are. They don't want us to aspire to anything, and we feed into it completely. And anytime another race says that to us, why are you guys destroying each other? Then you're racist. Look at TV. Look when we had The Cosby Show. We had A Different World, Different Strokes, those kinds of shows, right? You showed affluent and black families that were on a trajectory of upward mobility. We had one show. We had Blackish recently, right? But that's not on TV anymore. I guarantee you will never see a show like that. Even when I was on Housewives, I went on that show because I wanted to be a different kind of housewife. I wanted to show someone that was, again, a professional, all those kind of things. But I wanted to show an affluent, Black, cohesive, nuclear family. Do you think they wanted to show that? Of course they don't. Because that is not the narrative of the Black culture that they want to push.
That's the part people usually avoid talking about, right? Not the headlines, not the surface argument, but the long-term effect. If people are constantly told what they can't do, constantly reminded of, their limits, eventually that becomes the expectation. And once expectations drop, so does everything else with it. Now, whether you agree with her or not, you can't ignore what she's pointing at. The idea that the narrative itself might be shaping outcomes. And if that's even partially true, that's bigger than politics. Now, take everything you just heard and put it next to what's happening inside of the party itself.
Your openness to talk to the American people, as I said in introducing you, you and I go back over a quarter century. Yes. And if there's anyone that has had open communication, is you and I. Mm-hmm. So are you going to run again in 28?
So, okay,
I tried to be subtle, but I just figured I'd go right
well,
at it.
That's as subtle as Reverend Al Sharpton could ever be. We love you for many things, but not being subtle. Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it.
Stop.
Your openness.
Stop. Don't think about it no more. This is where the timing gets interesting, because while all of that is happening, questions about direction, messaging, loyalty, you got Kamala Harris stepping up like, yeah, I might run again. Of course, she's not going to have no clear vision. No reset. Probably going to run through some more millions, of course. Just thinking about it, she says. And the reaction is not excitement, at least for me. From, from everybody here, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, for me, it's just confusion, some jokes that's going to be said, a little bit of hesitation. But look, if people already feel something's off, hearing the same direction being recycled is just not going to fix that. I don't want Kamala 2028. It just makes people look harder, if anything. And when people start looking harder, that's when cracks inside the system starts becoming visible.
Amen. People are waking up.
I am Michigan State Representative, a Democrat here in Whitsett. And I live in the area that I have been representing since I was 2 years old. And I've been in office now. This is my 8th year. I have always been pretty much on the balancing side of things, as I like to see it. And I try to use common sense, always, definitely do what the district wants done. But in the last 4 years, that became quite difficult to be able to do, even when we were under leadership of the Speaker of the House being Democrat. And I just sincerely kept asking, please do not back me into a corner. Please do not back me into the corner. Please do not keep pushing LGBTQ agenda. Please do not keep pushing the abortion agenda. The governor wanted to have Medicaid funded abortions. What? And I was absolutely not. I was number 56. You have to have 56 votes. And I was number 56. And I was not doing it. I was not budging on that. That was not going to happen. Rape, incest, life and death of the mother are already covered. It's already bad enough that we're up to 9 months that you can terminate a pregnancy. And people do not even realize that they voted for that. It's just getting more and more to a point where if you misgender someone, if you look like a woman, I'm going to address you as a woman. I'm just a firm believer, and I'm just very blunt with it. I'm not a co-signer of crazy. You can do all of that and be all of that all you want. But when you try to force it on me and make it my reality, now we have a problem. I don't understand how Christian, Bible go together in Democratic Party.
It doesn't.
I did not compromise myself as far as a vote was concerned, but enough where I feel compromised, where I would have liked to have done more to make sure these things didn't happen. But it's just God has called me to move in a different direction. And I definitely want to try to.
Now, this one right here, this is the part that they can't stand. This isn't an outsider. This isn't a critic. This is someone who is in the system saying, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. Not because of one issue, not because of even one moment, but because the direction no longer lines up at all. When people inside start stepping away publicly, that's not noise, man. That's quite literally a signal. So step back and look at the full picture. You got everyday people losing trust, voices inside the culture questioning the narratives, media patterns getting called out, a potential candidate not influencing nobody or inspiring confidence in nobody, and insiders quietly or not so quietly, rather, walking away. Different lane, same direction. And when that many signals starts pointing the same way, you already know that's not random. That's something shifting. The real question is, are people going to ignore it, or are they finally going to start thinking for themselves? Luckily, we've been seeing a lot of that lately. Amen. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to put not random, because it's not. Y'all be safe. I'm finna get ready to enjoy some more of the spring break with. Did you play? Me and my son got a Connect 4 game going. I don't believe you too close. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.